News and Notes.
Welcome to our news and notes section. It's sponsored by Shortboxed, the easiest and safest way to buy and sell graded comics. You can download Shortboxed on iOS and Android. Use our code OBP15 at checkout for $15 off your first order. That's OBP15 at checkout. One thing that I'm really surprised about is how good. So I've bought several things on Shortboxed, and every single time it's come in a box and it was so secure. It was like trying to open it. Like one guy, I swear to God, it was like one of those joke videos where it's like box, smaller box. Anyways, never.
That's not an ad, by the way, guys. That is not an ad. That is legit. Aaron has bought things from Shortboxed in the last couple weeks, and honestly, I have as well. That's the problem. That is the one downfall to Shortboxed, guys, is that you will buy things that you feel like you either can't afford or shouldn't be able to buy at the moment, but you do.
Here's what we're going on to side quests here. If this is your first time listening to the Oblivion Bar Pod, you will learn really quickly that we go on side quests quite a bit.
Side quest.
So, side quest with Shortboxed. I love Shortboxed because you can just throw out an offer, and they don't have to take it; they can counter offer. But the cool thing is, whatever you like, you could just be scrolling. Some people just love to scroll, and you can favorite this book, you can favorite that book, and you know what happens is the people who are selling that can actually send a whole discount message to everybody who's favorited that book. So if you really want to sell it, you're like, you know what? I'll drop it $10 if anybody buys it right now. You can send that to anybody who's favorited that book, which is awesome, I think.
Yeah, it's a great way to get rid of some books that you are also a way to save money for the people who are buying your books. It's a good deal.
Yeah. So anyways, we'll get right into our notes and news or vice versa. The Pokémon Company is... Did you want to take this one?
No, I wanted you to take this because Aaron, you have probably much more of a closer tie to the Pokemon TCG than I did. Even though we played it together back in the Army, you definitely have a lot more expertise when it comes to this arena.
Yeah, I judged for quite a while, for a few years playing TCG. So the Pokemon Company is developing an unscripted series centered around the TCG. Now this is their trading card game. So details about the series are very limited at this point, but Barry Sands, vice president of the Pokemon TCG, said, "The Pokemon trading card game has been a cornerstone of the Pokemon brand since it was first introduced more than 25 years ago, and at the center of its success is its fans. From dedicated competitors in the Play Pokemon program and casual players battling after school with friends and family to collectors or general enthusiasts, we're looking forward to spotlighting the stories of our diverse TCG fans. Anyone in the Los Angeles area with a Pokemon TCG story to tell is encouraged to apply." So basically, they just put out a casting call, and it said the same thing. They're looking for energetic, personable candidates of all ages and their families. And it sounds like, and Chris and I kind of threw around the idea of what this might be, probably going to be like a reality show. And what they're going to do is they're probably going to pick a couple of different people from different age groups, because they have the juniors, they have the teenagers, and they have the adults and up. And they basically will probably follow each of these as they go on their journey, their Pokemon quote unquote journey in the TCG, maybe even trying to get to Worlds or trying to get through nationals or whatever. It sounds like it's going to be a reality type of competitive series, so we'll see how it goes. I know a few years ago they did like a documentary about Worlds, and they did, I think actually not Worlds, it might have been just nationals. This is something they do every once in a while. It's smart for them to do it, because what they're going to do is they're going to try and I feel like they're doing this at a time where maybe the income of Pokemon TCG might be dwindling down, because so many people have been dumping a ton of money into buying everything off the shelves, and this is their way to say, like, you know what, hey, you can still play the game even if you're collecting or not collecting, whatever,
and also possibly be on TV. So I wonder if this is going to be like on cable, or if this is just going to be on the Pokemon website or on YouTube.
Probably like a YouTube series.
Yeah. Pokemon has here recently especially kind of honed in on their YouTube presence. Like, they're often, whether it's their web series with the animated stuff, or if it's just stuff promoting either the TCG or the anime or the video games, they're very present on YouTube. So I think this is a cool idea. Too bad that neither one of us live in Los Angeles, because I'd say we would totally rock this. What's cooler than two 30-plus-year-old dudes that were at one time in the military, often playing this game of theirs? We would be perfect for this, right? We would be such a weird niche person for this show. We would be shoo-in, right?
My Squirtle used bubble. I just flipped heads, and your Pokemon is now paralyzed.
Aaron uses splash. It has no effect.
It's super effective.
So yeah, again, like you had said, Aaron, there's really not there's no news to this. I just thought it was really interesting that they were doing something like this. And I'm definitely going to keep my eyes peeled for this because I'm curious to see how this goes because I'm not much of a reality show fan myself. Aaron, are you? Are you a Bachelor fan? Are you a what's the boat one that people are watching on Peacock now? It's
Is it
Love
fantasy?
Island
Oh,
or
Love Island.
Fantasy Boat. I
Nah,
don't know,
man.
something.
I hate. Okay, I hate reality television. I really, really hate it.
Because it's
Because
not
to me,
reality.
it's like a cesspool of negativity, and people just get
Yep.
so enveloped in it, and it's like it just becomes it starts to bleed into your life. And you like start
Mhm.
to need that drama. And if you don't find it in the show, then you go out and seek it on your own. And to me, it's just gross.
And the Pokemon Company and the TCG specifically does not need any more drama. They are often entrenched in some type of drama, whether it be the meta never like the meta in Pokemon. For people who don't play the trading card game, or if you're familiar with the trading card game like structure, Pokemon is different from every other trading card game because the meta is very small. It's usually 4 decks that everyone is playing, but then there are 6 dudes or people. I don't know. I think I would probably be even like, I would be very confident in saying dudes. I would be like, it's mostly dudes in their early 20s who come to these regionals or worlds or nationals with these random decks that they only knew about, and they destroy everyone at these competitions because they have figured out a way to beat the meta that they created months beforehand. It's just,
Yes.
it's so
It is the
like
same.
toxic.
It is the same dudes over and over again in the top 6, the top cut. And what they do is they design it that way. They actually and they will intimidate other players into forfeiting and saying like, oh, if we both forfeit right now, we'll both make top cut. And then, or they'll just like, again, beat. But that's exactly, you're right, Chris. What they do during that game is they put these decks together that beat all the current meta. They all play the same deck with small variants. And then
Mhm.
the next tournament, when everybody else has bought every single version of this deck and they put it together, you know what they're doing? As soon as that tournament's over, they're like, okay, how do we beat this deck? And they already know how to
Mhm.
beat it. And so they go to the next tournament with those decks because they know that everybody's going to be playing those decks that they just played in the previous
Yep.
tournament.
I don't know if this is the right saying or the right metaphor, but is it like the snake eating its own tail type of thing? Like these people
Basically,
are like they're essentially setting the meta and then destroying it the next
exactly. And
tournament.
the other thing that they do is they're basically like stock market, those stock exchange people,
Mhm.
over on Wall Street. So they do the same thing with cards. Is they'll start all of a sudden they'll go and they'll buy every single version of whatever card they can that's like 10 cents, 15 cents off of all the websites, and they'll jack
Mhm.
up the prices and then they'll just sell it all back like for like 3 or
They'll
4
hold
times
it
the
until
price.
everybody wants it,
Yeah,
until it's worth something, and then they sparse it out within the market.
yep,
Comics, every collectible does that, unfortunately. Again, if Aaron and I were the executive producers of this show, this would be a main plot line in this Pokemon TCG
absolutely.
reality show.
I would do 2
There would
plot
be a
lines.
villain. There
It
would
would
be 2
be it
romances.
would be the cheaters that are like 6 and under,
Yep. Yep.
because there are some mean kids out there, and don't tell me
Yeah.
that there aren't, because there are some. I've seen kids cheat, smaller kids, and it is a horrible thing to do. You know
They're
what?
on some Pegasus shit.
The whole, oh, yucks. And then
Yugi
and then
boy.
you'll get boy. And then you have the adults who are in there just like they're literally the bros of the Pokemon community. Man, we went
Yes.
on a hell of a side quest. We're still in news and
I
notes, by
know.
the way.
Yeah, let's move off Pokemon again. Aaron and I, if this ends up being something, we'll probably be into this, but we'll just have to see how Pokemon goes about this. Again, there's not really any like major news about this. So let's move on to our next bit of news here, which is Ryan Gosling wants to play Ghost Rider in the MCU. So a lot of people have been wanting Ryan Gosling over in the MCU, and there's been rumors that Ryan Gosling might be taking on the role of Nova in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But we may be looking in the wrong direction, everyone. In a recent interview, Gosling went on to say that he would rather play Johnny Blaze, aka the Ghost Rider, in the MCU. So the Happy Sad Confused podcast host Josh Horowitz shared on Twitter, Ryan and I chatted about the Nova rumors yesterday, and he said they are not true. But this morning, Ryan reached out to me to say that one superhero he does want to play is Ghost Rider. And then I'm looking at the tweet here, and it's got the GIF from what's the movie with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone?
La La Land.
La La Land. Thank you. That was the one who won the Academy Award a couple years ago. So we recently saw that Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, was on season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he was portrayed by Gabriel Luna. There are currently no plans to bring this version of Ghost Rider over into the main MCU. So Robbie Reyes probably not making his way over into the normal films and Disney Plus and that good stuff, at least not to my knowledge. So, Aaron, thoughts on Ryan Gosling possibly being the next Johnny Blaze, and do you prefer him over the previous iteration, which is of course Nick Cage?
I am not okay. I maybe this is a hot take. I don't know. I'm not a fan at all of Ryan Gosling.
Oh, that is a hot take because I love Ryan Gosling.
I mean, I have yet to really see him in anything that I truly like enjoy him. Like name 2 great films that he was in. Not saying popular films, but like that, like give me
La La
some.
Land and Drive.
Okay, first off, La La Land was boring as hell. I love
No.
musicals. La La Land was terrible in my opinion.
How
I
dare you,
hated it.
sir?
Hate it. Couldn't even get past the first traffic scene. It was so bad. I did get past
Have you
it.
seen Drive?
No, I haven't seen Drive. No.
You need to watch Drive. It's awesome. It's got
Okay.
Oscar Isaacs. It's got Bryan
Oh.
Cranston, obviously Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling, and it's like kind of a very quiet, self-reflecting thought on this guy who essentially kind of lives a very quiet life, but he's like the dangerous assassin that's like really, kind of to himself. And he finds this woman, Carrie Mulligan, who he really starts to really
Is
love.
this Transporter?
No, well, it's like an art house version of Transporter. Yes.
Okay.
it's your friend who's really into A24's favorite version of Transporter.
Got it.
So
got
me.
it. I love that friend.
So yeah.
No, I don't see him being good as Ghost Rider. And I'll be honest, Gabriel Luna killed it as Robbie Reyes. Killed it. And that's not a pun. Or it is a pun, but it's pun unintended. But he did a great job.
He was on fire in that series.
He was lit. On fire. And then Nick Cage, honestly, so we're gonna say Ghost Rider 2, horrible.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider
Spirit
1,
of Vengeance.
Spirit of Vengeance was the worst thing. The worst thing. But Ghost Rider 1, there's the scene where Nicolas Cage first goes like full Ghost Rider, like and it's like, yeah! And he's like, that was one of the best things I have ever seen him do, was that singular
Accidentally
transformation.
amazing.
Yeah, it was tragically amazing. And so like I don't mind him in the first Ghost Rider. I absolutely minded everything about the second Ghost Rider. But
Yeah.
like I said, I do not see Ryan Gosling as a Ghost Rider type. He's just not an MCU guy for me.
So I think this is, everyone listening right now, this is one of the rare times where I think Aaron and I are on completely different wavelengths. Generally, we're very aligned in our thoughts. Go back and listen to the 25-minute conversation we just had about the Pokemon trading card game. Generally, we agree on most things. This is one of those things where I am all about Ryan Gosling being Ghost Rider. Like, again, watch Drive and watch, honestly, in most of his films, I think he has this very like kind of quiet, reflective way about him that I just really, really like. He was also in that movie where he's like, no, that's Jake Gyllenhaal. I was thinking the one where he's like the reporter that's going around and trying to catch the first scoops.
Oh,
he's kind of a maniac at the same time.
Nightcrawler.
Night Stalker.
Nightcrawler.
Or Nightcrawler, you're right. Yeah, Nightcrawler. Yeah, I thought that was Ryan Gosling for a second. I always get those two mixed up. Ryan Gosling and Jake Gyllenhaal are like interchangeable to me. But anyway, in summation, I'm excited about this. I hope this is true. If Ryan Gosling is not Ghost Rider, I would love for him to be Nova, which seems to be the more popular theory, and B, I would love to see Robbie Reyes back, because again, while I have not seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I have seen enough clips of Gabriel Luna as this character, and he just looks awesome. Not to mention, Robbie Reyes is awesome. He's a great version of Ghost Rider, kind of a more modern interpretation of Ghost Rider, right? Like his story is very much tied to modern day, whereas Johnny Blaze is just a stunt driver who sells his soul to Mephisto to save his dad. But oops, his dad still dies, and he has forever been damned to be his what do you call that? His ward, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Here's an interesting if we ever get like a Young Avengers, you know, or if we get like we need like a Ghost Rider, like a Ghost Rider Junior, and instead of like a motorcycle, he'll have like a Huffy bike that's on fire.
No, he'll be on a one wheel.
Or he'll be on like a skateboard, yeah, or a one wheel. Yeah. Well, like I saw, so that Scotty Young did a cover of Ghost Rider, and it was Ghost Rider on like a scooter, on like a Razor scooter, and it was awesome.
Oh, I love that. Alrighty, Aaron, go and take us into our last bit of news here. And just for everyone at home, if you've listened to the last couple episodes, we are very MCU heavy, and I apologize. There's just really not a lot going on over at DC or any of the other outlets, because I think DC is in crisis mode right now. Like literally, Ezra Miller is beating people up every other day, and
Have
then
they found him yet?
I don't know. We have no idea what's going on with Ezra Miller. They are like the central topic when it comes to DC here recently. So, but yeah, our last bit of news here.
So I'll read this last bit of news, but there isn't. No, I don't know if there's an Ezra but update. It just seems that they're saying that Elliot Page is being considered to replace Ezra Miller as the Flash.
Interesting. Okay.
So maybe we'll talk about that when there's more that comes from that. That's hot off the press apparently. But right now our next piece of news is Captain America 4 will be helmed by the Cloverfield Paradox director Julius Onah. And I don't know, Chris, have you seen the Cloverfield Paradox? Did you watch that?
I have not. I have not seen any of the Cloverfields except for the first one. So I haven't watched the one with John Goodman?
Oh, yeah, man, you should watch that one. That is good. John Goodman is so
I want to see that one, but I could care less about Paradox. But that's interesting because you've actually told me before that you actually didn't mind Cloverfield Paradox, whereas most people have found it to be pretty bad.
No, I didn't. I thought it was okay. So it was not what I expected, but it was definitely just like weird enough to. So Cloverfield, the entire series. We're going on another side quest, which is terrible, but it's all like, it's almost like an anthology series that's all found in the same kind of universe. And
yeah,
I love what they're doing, and I just can't. I'm always excited for more from them. Always, like, they do such a good job of just like throwing the most random heinous storylines in there, and they've done it 3 times, which is really interesting, and they're all completely different, but they're all linked. So anyways, to the point, not long after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was released, Marvel Studios announced that they were developing Captain America 4, with series creator and showrunner Malcolm Spellman developing it. It's now been announced that the director of Netflix's The Cloverfield Paradox, Julius Onah, directed another film called Luce, and that's Luce, not Loose, is set to helm the film. Anthony Mackie, of course, will return as Sam Wilson, aka Captain America.
That's right, our Captain America.
That's my cap. That's my cap.
That's my cap.
And there's a chance that he'll be joined by Sebastian Stan, aka Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier. We could also see some other familiar faces from the series, including the likes of Emily Van Camp as Sharon Carter, who we now know is like helming, another secret organization. Wyatt Russell is John Walker, aka U.S. Agent. Oof. Wow. And then possibly Daniel Bruhl as Baron Zemo doing his little dance.
Yep. Doing his little dance in
Madripoor. There's supposed to be more details revealed for Captain America 4 at San Diego Comic-Con later this week. So this just in, we are going to have a reporter live on ground at San Diego Comic-Con. Chris, checking in with you, buddy.
Hey, Aaron. Yeah, I'm here live here at San Diego Comic-Con. Weather is great. No new news quite just yet. There is a little bit of a lag here. There's nerds everywhere. I've seen so many neckbeards. I will let you know if I get any updates from Captain America 4. Back to you in the studio.
Yeah, that was Chris from our news OBP copter. He was on the helicopter just giving us a news report of the weather at San Diego Comic-Con. And we're going to check back in with him next week, as he's on ground at the Comic-Con and filling us in on Captain America 4 details. Thank you. That's it. Good night.
Question mark? If you put a question mark on the prompter, he will read it.
You poop mouth.
Poop mouth. We got that quote wrong the other week, guys, just so you're aware. We had to correct ourselves. We had to do it.
Mhm.
So I'm excited about this. I'm excited that we're getting a Captain America 4. My only caveat is that I kind of wish they would just restart this franchise, right? Like, let's not call it Captain America 4. Let's call it Sam Wilson's Captain America, or just Captain America, or like Captain America colon something, right? I kind of would like to have seen them kind of just separate this. I don't want Sam to be in Steve's shadow this entire time. At some point, he has to get from underneath that, because it was even put on Twitter here recently. It was Twitter, where Chris Evans came out and said, Sam is Captain America. Anthony Mackie is Captain America. Because someone was saying something like to the effect of, will Sam Wilson be able to take up the mantle, going forward in the MCU? And essentially Chris Evans is giving him his full endorsement, as he should. Sam Wilson in that final episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier I was sold. Aaron, I think you were sold as well. I wasn't sure initially, not because it's the Black Captain America. It was because I love Steve Rogers. I love that character, and Chris Evans did such an amazing job portraying that character. So to see someone else take up that similar mantle just seemed a little strange in theory, but that final episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier completely sold me. He is Captain America to me, and I think to a lot of people.
Yeah. If people don't know, Steve Rogers was not the only Captain America.
Yeah.
He is not.
It's
There's
a
been like
mantle.
4 or 5 Captain Americas. Captains of America.
Captains. Sirs of America.
Caps. Yeah. Officers of America. Okay. There's been multiple. So if you have to think, oh, well, Steve Rogers, Chris Evans is the only Captain America for me, then you're an idiot. You're not an idiot. I'm sorry. I take that back. You can have your favorite, but be inclusive and accept the fact that there will be other, just like there's other Batmans. There's not just Bruce Wayne, the Batman. Okay. So give Anthony Mackie his due. He did a great job, and we will see him in Captain America 4. Cool.
Agreed. I'm excited for this. There's again not really a ton of news when it comes to what this story is going to be about, but it is interesting and exciting that Julius Onah has taken this on. Because again, while Cloverfield Paradox has been kind of polarizing to say the least, I know Loose was extremely well received. It was a very quiet film of just 4 people talking in a room, but people loved it. It was very much like a darling of the indie film scene a couple years ago. So excited to see what he does here. That's right. So, but yeah, excited. And again, we'll learn more at San Diego Comic-Con, and then even more so we'll learn at D23 later in September of this year, where Kevin Feige again is supposed to essentially release the plans for phase 5 and on at the MCU, and kind of learn where we're headed, which people have often complained about. So I think that'll do it. That'll do it for our news and notes this week. Let's get out of the MCU, Aaron. Let's get out of it. I'm done with the MCU. Okay. And let's get into The Boys, if nothing else, a complete parody of everything that we just talked about. It is poking fun at every single thing in the superhero world. And I love it for that. And I think Aaron does as well. So before we get to that review, though, let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back.